The sound of a door clicking shut shouldn't hurt that much, but sitting alone in room 217, that soft click echoed in my chest like thunder. My name is Eleanor Miller. Today is my 62nd birthday, and my daughter just left me at Pinewood Nursing Home. There's a half-eaten cupcake on the nightstand beside me. Store-bought. The candle never got lit. Zara said there wasn't time. "It's just temporary, Mom," she'd said, not quite meeting my eyes. "Just until we figure things out." I watched through the window as her SUV pulled away. She didn't look back once. Funny how life shrinks down. 62 years of memories, packed into a suitcase and a cardboard box. My clothes still smell like my little house, lavender sachets and that lemon polish, Zara always complained, made her sneeze. "This place has better care than I can give you," she'd explained while signing papers at the front desk. "You'll make friends." But I didn't need friends. I needed my daughter to remember who I was before my hands started shaking too much to button my own blouse. The nursing home is quiet except for the TV down the hall, too loud because everyone's hearing is going. A nurse pokes her head in. Her name tag says, "Clara." "Mrs. Miller? Would you like to join the others for evening activities?" I shake my head. She hesitates at the door. "It's your birthday, isn't it?" The paperwork mentioned. 62. I say, my voice steadier than I feel. "Too young for this place." She steps inside, something gentle in her eyes. Not pity, something kinder. "Sometimes the people who should love us the most understand us the least," she says softly. "But that doesn't mean you're alone here." After she leaves, I open the window. Outside, the sun is setting, painting everything gold. 20 miles away is the house where I raised Zara alone after her father died. The house where I taught her to braid her hair, where I helped with science projects, where I sat up nights when she had fevers. I thought love was a currency that would always return to you. Now I know better. I take out the photo from my wallet. Zara at her college graduation. Me standing beside her, my work-worn hands resting proudly on her shoulders. Both of us smiling like the future was a gift we'd unwrap together. That night, I realized something no parent ever wants to learn. Love doesn't always come back the way you gave it. When your children walk away, do they ever look back and see the person who never walked away from them? If someone has stayed by your side when they could have left, maybe they deserve more than silence tonight. Tomorrow, I'll unpack my box. Tonight, I'll sit with this hollowness and wonder when my daughter started seeing me as a problem to solve rather than the mother who once solved all of hers. I dream of her small hand in mine. Zara at 6, walking to kindergarten. Her backpack nearly bigger than she was, bouncing against her tiny frame with each step. "Slow down, Mommy," she'd giggle. Those braids I'd carefully woven before sunrise swinging as she skipped. Morning light floods through the nursing home blinds, waking me to my new reality. The walls are beige. Everything here is beige. My first full day at Pinewood. I unpacked the few things Zara deemed important enough to bring. My watch, some clothes, a small album of photos I flipped through with trembling fingers. There she is, gap-toothed and grinning on her first bicycle. Me running alongside, terrified she'd fall, more scared than she was. "You worked 2 jobs back then," I whisper to myself, touching the faded photograph. Night shifts at the hospital, mornings at the diner. Sleep was something I caught in snatches, but I never missed a school play. Never missed a parent-teacher meeting, even when my eyelids felt like sandpaper. I wasn't perfect. I tell the empty room, but I was present. Every parent knows. That's half the battle. A knock at the door interrupts my memories. Clara, the nurse from Live, yesterday, brings a tray with breakfast. "Not hungry," I say. "You should eat something, Mrs. Miller." Her voice is kind but firm. "You might feel better." Feel better about being dumped like old furniture? The bitterness surprises even me. Clara sits on the edge of the bed, unexpected. "Tell me about her. Your daughter." So I do. About teaching Zara to make her grandmother's apple pie. About working overtime for months to buy her prom dress. About selling my mother's pearl necklace to help with her first semester of college. She was smart. So smart. I wanted her to have what I never did. Clara listens without interruption, something rare these days. After her father died of heart failure when Zara was 8, it was just us against the world. I'd make pancakes shaped like hearts. Silly things to make her smile again. I pause, throat tight with memories. When did things change? Clara asks softly. When she met Richard, her husband has expectations of her family. The phone on my bedside table rings, startling us both. I reach for it, hoping irrationally that it's Zara calling to say it was all a mistake. The voice on the other end is unfamiliar. Male, professional. Mrs. Miller? This is Devin Williams from Atlantic National Bank. We need to discuss some irregularities with your accounts. It appears your daughter has withdrawn all your funds, every penny. The room tilts sideways as his words sink in. Ma'am? Are you there? Mrs. Miller? Some betrayals cut so deep they change who you are. If you've ever trusted someone completely, only to have that trust shattered, would you still find the strength to rebuild? Every penny? My voice sounds foreign to my own ears. I'm afraid so, Mrs. Miller. The account was emptied yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon. While I was unpacking in room 217, Zara was clearing out 30 years of my savings. Clara takes the phone when it slips from my fingers. She speaks quietly with the banker while I stare at the wall. $27,000. Not a fortune, but it was mine, my safety net, my independence. We'll figure this out, Clara says after hanging up. But her eyes tell a different story. I think about the slow drift that brought us here. It didn't happen overnight. Love doesn't vanish in a day. It erodes, like shoreline against persistent waves. First came the missed Sunday dinners. Sorry, Mom, Richard has a work thing. Then the shortened phone calls. Can I call you back? I'm just in the middle of something. I never got those callbacks. After breakfast, Clara introduces me to some other residents in the common room. Vivian, a former teacher with quick eyes and quicker wit. George, who keeps forgetting where he is, but remembers every detail of the war. And Thomas, silent in his wheelchair by the window. You'll adjust, Vivian tells me, patting my hand. We all did, but I don't want to adjust. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. Back in my room, I find a notepad and begin writing down numbers. The bank, my old neighbors, a lawyer whose card I kept from when I updated my will last year. I remember Zara's wedding 3 years ago, how beautiful she looked, how Richard barely acknowledged me at the reception, his family with their tailored clothes and country club memberships, the way he pulled Zara away when she sat too long at my table. She's just trying to impress them, I told myself then. Now I understand. I was the embarrassment. The waitress mother. The reminder of Zara's humble beginnings. Clara brings lunch, soup and a sandwich. You have a visitor coming this afternoon, she says. My heart leaps foolishly. Zara? No, someone from social services. Standard for new residents. I nod, deflated. That evening, I join the others for dinner. The food is institutional, but not terrible. Thomas sits beside me, still silent, but somehow comforting in his quietness. As I'm heading back to my room, Vivian catches my arm. First night is always the 16th. Hardest, she says. Second night too. But listen, not everyone here is waiting to die. Some of us are just starting to live differently. I'm about to respond when the facility director appears at the doorway, face grave. Mrs. Miller, could you come with me? There's been a situation with your house. It seems your daughter has listed it for sale. The realtor just called to confirm you've moved out permanently. The walls of the hallway seem to pulse and contract. My home, my garden, my life. Have you ever watched someone take everything from you, piece by piece, while smiling as if they're doing you a favor? How do you stand tall when the ground beneath you is being sold from under your feet? My legs give out right there in the hallway. Clara catches me before I hit the floor. She can't sell my house, I whisper, but the director's face tells me otherwise. The property is in both your names, he explains gently. She has legal authority, especially with the health concerns she mentioned. Health concerns? I'd been forgetful lately. Misplaced my keys once. Burned dinner twice. Normal things. not reasons to strip someone of their life. Back in my room, Clara brings tea with honey. Her kindness almost breaks me. I remembered her 6th birthday, I say, staring into the cup. She wanted a princess party. I couldn't afford it, so I stayed up all night sewing a castle out of bedsheets, painted cardboard crowns for all her friends. She loved it? She told everyone her mom was magic. My laugh sounds hollow. Funny how magic turns to embarrassment when children grow up. That night, I remember how this all started. A promise. "I have a birthday surprise for you, Mom," Zara had said on the phone last week. "I'll pick you up Thursday at noon." I'd spent hours getting ready, washed my hair with the special shampoo, put on my blue dress, the one her father always loved, even baked lemon squares, Zara's childhood favorite. When she arrived, I thought the surprise might be lunch at that nice restaurant by the lake. Or maybe a spa day. Something to make me feel special. Instead, she had forms in a folder. A rehearsed speech about better care and professional supervision. Words that masked a simpler truth. I had become inconvenient. Morning comes. I force myself to shower, to dress, to face this new reality. Clara brings a small package. "This came for you." Inside is my silver bracelet. The one Robert gave me on our 10th anniversary. I thought I'd lost it months ago. A note reads, "Found this while cleaning. Thought you might want it. Z. No. Love. No. Sorry. Just an afterthought." I clasp it around my wrist with shaking fingers. At lunch, Vivian invites me to join her table. She introduces me to Marcus, her son who visits daily. The way he holds her hand makes my heart ache. "You should come to our card game tonight," Vivian says. Keeps the mind sharp. I agree, needing something, anything, to fill the hours. After dinner, I return to my room to get a sweater. It's always cold in the common areas. I reach for the old blue cardigan Zara packed, the one I've had for years. Something crinkles in the pocket. I pull out a folded paper. A lottery ticket. I vaguely remember buying it last week at the corner store, my small weekly indulgence. The drawing was yesterday. I turn on the small TV, find the local channel. "And now for last night's winning numbers," the announcer says cheerfully. I unfold the ticket, not really hoping, just curious. As each number is called, my breath comes shorter. 4. Match. 17. Match. 23. Match. 36. Match. 42. Match. 51. Match. The room spins. I clutch the ticket, my hands trembling uncontrollably. $42 million. When life has stripped you bare, leaving you with nothing but your dignity, does fate sometimes step in to restore the balance? Or is this just another cruel joke? Wealth without freedom? I can't breathe. The numbers blur as I stare at the ticket. Mrs. Miller? Card game starting. Vivian stands in my doorway, then frowns. "Honey, you're white as a sheet." I hide the ticket in my palm, just feeling a little dizzy. But Vivian's eyes are sharp. She closes the door and sits beside me. What's happened? Something in her voice, the absence of pity, perhaps, makes me trust her. I show her the ticket, my fingers still trembling. Vivian's eyes widen. "Sweet Lord above. What do I do?" I whisper. "First, you don't tell a soul." She glances at the door. "Not even Clara yet. Money changes how people see you." "Zara would take it," I say, the realization settling cold in my stomach, like she took everything else. Vivian nods grimly. "Which is why we need to be smart. My Marcus is a financial advisor. He can help." We miss the card game. Instead, Vivian explains what needs to happen. The ticket safely hidden in my bra. "No one's going to look there, honey." I try to sleep but can't. I keep replaying that moment. The sound of the door clicking shut as Zara left me here. I'd stood in this very room, watching her walk to her car. She'd glanced back once, not at me, but at the building, checking something off her list. The click of that door closing was the period at the end of a sentence. The final note of a song. The sound of one life ending and another beginning. The next morning, Vivian introduces me to her son. Marcus is kind-eyed and speaks in a low, reassuring voice. He takes notes as I explain everything. We'll create a blind trust, he says. Your name won't be public. Most importantly, your daughter won't know. Is that legal? I ask. Completely. The question is, what do you want to do with the money? I haven't thought that far. For now, just keeping it from Zara seems victory enough. Clara finds us huddled together at lunch. Secret meeting? She teases. Marcus leaves with the ticket hidden in his briefcase, promising to return tomorrow. I feel strangely lighter, as if the universe has offered a counterweight to my losses. That afternoon, I join an art therapy class. My hands shake too much for detailed work, but there's freedom in spreading bright colors across blank paper. I paint a door, closed, blue, with light spilling underneath. Powerful imagery. The art therapist comments. If she only knew. Back in my room, I get a call from Devin at the bank. His voice is tense. Mrs. Miller, your daughter is trying to access your safety deposit box. She's claiming you've given permission. My heart races. The box contains my mother's jewelry, my marriage certificate, the deed to a small piece of land my father left me. I've given no such permission, I say firmly. I suspected as much. We've temporarily blocked access, but she's quite insistent. After we hang up, I sit by the window, watching darkness fall. The lottery ticket is safe with Marcus, but everything else I valued was still in Zara's reach. The facility phone rings at the nurse's station. Minutes later, Clara knocks on my door. Mrs. Miller? Your daughter is on her way here. She sounds upset. How far will someone go when desperation meets greed? When the person who should protect you becomes the one you need protection from. I smooth my hair, straighten my blouse, preparing for battle in small ways. You don't have to see her, Clara says, hovering protectively. Yes, I do. My voice is calmer than I feel. She's still my daughter. Vivian appears in the hallway. I'll stay with you. Zara arrives like a storm. Designer handbag swinging, heels clicking sharply on linoleum. The nurse at the station points to my room. I stand in the doorway, Vivian and Clara flanking me like guardians. Mom. Zara's smile doesn't reach her eyes. We need to talk privately. These are my friends, I say simply. They can stay. Something flashes across her face. Annoyance. Calculation. She adjusts quickly. Fine. There's been a mix-up at the bank. They won't let me access your safety deposit box. She laughs lightly. Bureaucracy, right? If you just call them. No mix-up. I reply. I didn't give permission. Her smile falters. Mom, we talked about this. Your memory is perfectly fine, Vivian interjects. Eleanor knows exactly what she has and hasn't said. Zara's eyes narrow. And you are? A witness, Vivian says pleasantly. Zara pulls me into the hallway, voice dropping to a harsh whisper. What are you doing? I'm trying to help you. The house sale is so we can pay for this place. This place costs $4,000 a month. The house is worth $220,000. Her cheeks flush. There are other expenses. Richard's business had a setback. So this is about Richard. The pieces click together. Not about my health concerns at all. Zara's face hardens. You're being difficult. The doctor said stress makes your condition worse. What doctor? I haven't seen any doctor you've arranged. She checks her watch, impatient. Just sign this form for the bank. I'll handle everything else. I look at my daughter. Really look at her. The tight lines around her mouth. The calculated sympathy in her eyes. When did she become this person? No. I say quietly. Excuse me? I said no, Zara. The answer is no. She steps back, stunned. I've never denied her anything important. Mom, you're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly than I have in years. I feel something unfamiliar rising in my chest. Power, perhaps. Or truth. Go home to Richard. Tell him my assets aren't available to cover his mistakes. Her face transforms, the mask dropping completely. You ungrateful. She stops herself, glancing around. Fine. We'll do this another way. She storms out, leaving the scent of expensive perfume and unspoken threats. I collapse onto my bed, shaking. Clara brings water. Vivian squeezes my hand. You did good, Vivian murmurs. Real good. Days pass in hollow routine. Breakfast at 7. Physical therapy at 9. Lunch at noon. Art therapy or music in the afternoons. I move through each hour mechanically, waiting for Marcus to return. On the third morning, Clara rushes in during breakfast. Eleanor, there's something on the news you need to see. In the common room, residents gather around the TV. A news anchor speaks excitedly. Local nursing home resident wins massive lottery jackpot. The ticket, purchased last week, is worth $42 million. While the winner hasn't come forward, sources say it's a new resident at Pinewood Nursing Facility. My blood turns to ice. Someone knew. Someone talked. My phone rings. Zara's number. Behind me, Vivian whispers urgently into her own phone, calling Marcus. When the heart you've loved your whole life becomes a hunter instead of a keeper, how do you protect the last precious thing that's still yours? The phone keeps ringing in my hand. Zara's name flashing like a warning. Don't answer it, Vivian hisses. I silence the phone, my heart hammering against my ribs. The news report continues, speculating about the mysterious winner. Clara ushers me back to my room, away from curious eyes. Did anyone else know about the ticket? No one, except Vivian and Marcus. My voice sounds distant, disconnected. The phone buzzes again, a text from Zara. Mom, call me immediately. Important news about your finances. 3 more texts follow in rapid succession. The nursing home says someone there won the lottery. Was it you? I'm coming over. Marcus arrives before Zara, breathless and clutching his briefcase. I saw the news. This complicates things. But we have options. He explains quickly. The blind trust is already in motion. Papers are being processed. The ticket is in a secure location. But everyone knows the winner is at Pinewood, I say. They don't know it's you specifically, he replies. And by tomorrow, the trust will be the official winner, not an individual. Clara stands guard at the door, while Marcus and Vivian stay with me. We wait. An hour passes. Then another. Maybe she changed her mind, Clara says hopefully. The facility director appears in the doorway. Mrs. Miller? Your daughter's here with. Well, she's brought a doctor. And some legal papers. My stomach drops. What kind of doctor? A neurologist. She's claiming you need an immediate evaluation for. He lowers his voice. Cognitive impairment. Marcus steps forward. I'm Mrs. Miller's financial advisor. Those papers need to be reviewed by her attorney before any evaluation. The director looks relieved at this intervention. I'll tell them. More waiting, more tension coiling inside me. Finally, Clara comes in. Zara's insisting on seeing you, but the doctors agreed to wait. I nod. I'll see her alone. Protests erupt from Vivian and Marcus, but I raise my hand. She's still my daughter. I need to do this. When Zara enters, her face is a carefully constructed mask of concern. Mom, I've been so worried. Have you? Of course. And now this lottery business at your nursing home. People might try to take advantage of whoever won. Her eyes search my face for confirmation, for weakness. Like you've taken advantage of me? The words slip out before I can stop them. She flinches as if struck. I've only ever tried to help you. By emptying my bank accounts? Selling my home? Trying to access my safety deposit box? You're confused, she says, her voice hardening. That's why I brought Dr. Winters. He can help. Help declare me incompetent, you mean? So you can control whatever assets I have left. Something shifts in her eyes, calculation giving way to desperation. Mom, did you win the lottery? The question hangs between us. In that moment, looking at her beautiful face, the face I'd kissed better after every childhood hurt, I see what love has become between us. A transaction, a resource to be mined until nothing remains. If I did, I ask softly, would it change how you see me? Would I stop being a burden and become an asset instead? She doesn't answer. She doesn't need to. Clara knocks and enters without waiting. Mrs. Miller, there's a call for you. From the Lottery Commission. Zara's eyes widen. She reaches for my arm. I'll come with you. When does a mother's love require letting go? Not of your child, but of who you thought your child was? No, I say, pulling my arm from Zara's grasp. You won't come with me. Something flickers in her eyes. Panic, maybe. Or the realization that she's losing control of the situation. Clara leads me to the office while Marcus intercepts Zara. Through the glass, I see him blocking her path, speaking calmly but firmly. The facility director hands me the phone. Mrs. Miller. It's James Collins from the State Lottery Commission. But it isn't. It's Marcus's assistant, playing a part we hastily arranged via text messages while waiting for Zara to arrive. Yes, Mr. Collins. I say loudly enough for anyone listening. Yes, I understand the process. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Yes, I'll bring identification. When I return, Zara is pacing the hallway. The doctor she brought looks uncomfortable, checking his watch repeatedly. Mom, she says, rushing to me. What did they say? Is it about the ticket? Did you win? I look into my daughter's eyes that once held only love for me, and see only calculation and greed. They need to speak with the person who purchased the winning ticket, I say carefully, for verification purposes. So it is you. Her voice rises with excitement. Mom, this is incredible. Let me help you manage everything. Richard has connections. I've already arranged for professional assistance. I interrupt, nodding toward Marcus. Her face darkens. You don't need him. We're family. Family, I repeat slowly. Is that what we still are, Zara? That night, after Zara reluctantly leaves, promising to return tomorrow morning, I sit at the small desk in my room and begin to write. The letter I should have written years ago. The one she should have read before it came to this. My dearest Zara, when you were born, I made a promise to give you everything I never had. Maybe that was my first mistake. Not the giving, never that, but failing to show you the value of what was given. I remember the night your father died. You were 8. Too young to understand, but old enough to feel the loss completely. I promised you then that I would always be there, that you would never be alone. For 19 years after that night, I worked 2 and sometimes 3 jobs. I went without so you wouldn't have to. I postponed dreams so yours could flourish. Not because I was a saint, but because that's what love demanded. When did I become a burden to you instead of a mother? When did my worth become measured in what I could give rather than who I was? The pen trembles in my hand. Clara brings tea, sits quietly beside me as I continue writing through tears. At dawn, I seal the letter in an envelope. Whether I'll ever give it to Zara, I don't know. Marcus arrives early with paperwork. Everything's in order, he assures me. The trust is established. Your identity is protected. A soft knock at the door. Clara enters, her face tense. Eleanor, Zara is here with 2 people, a lawyer and someone from Adult Protective Services. She's filing for emergency guardianship, claiming financial exploitation by, she glances at Marcus, by opportunistic strangers taking advantage of a confused elderly woman. The words hit me like physical blows. She's saying I'm incapable of making my own decisions? Clara nods grimly. They want to speak with you immediately. When your own child tries to take away your voice, your freedom, your dignity, all for money, what remains of the love you once shared? Is there anything left worth salvaging? I straighten my spine, smooth my hair, and nod to Clara. Send them in. Marcus touches my shoulder. You don't have to do this alone. Yes, I say quietly. I do. They file in like a small army. Zara leading, followed by a sharp-suited woman and a tired-looking man with a clipboard. My daughter's face is set with determination, a look I recognize from her childhood. The same expression she wore when arguing for a later curfew or a more expensive prom dress. But this isn't about curfews anymore. Mom, she begins, her voice professionally concerned. We're here to help you. By declaring me incompetent? The words hang in the air, heavy and direct. The lawyer steps forward. Mrs. Miller, your daughter has serious concerns about your cognitive state and potential financial exploitation. These concerns are legitimate given your recent circumstances. You mean, my lottery win? A pause. The lawyer and Zara exchange glances. We're concerned about people taking advantage of your vulnerable state, Zara says smoothly. I look at my daughter, really look at her. Designer clothes, manicured nails. The diamond earrings Richard gave her last Christmas that she made sure to mention cost more than my monthly Social Security check. 7 days, I say. Excuse me? The lawyer frowns. 7 days ago, you left me here on my birthday. You emptied my bank accounts. You listed my house for sale. You tried to access my safety deposit box. I keep my voice steady, my eyes on Zara. 7 days, and not once did you ask how I was feeling, or if I needed anything. Not until you heard about a lottery winner at Pinewood. The man from Adult Protective Services shifts uncomfortably. That's not fair, Zara protests. I've been busy arranging everything for your care. Arranging everything without consulting me, because in your mind, I'm already incapable. The lawyer interrupts. Mrs. Miller, would you consent to a cognitive evaluation? It would clarify matters. I had one yesterday, I reply, after your client tried to bring in her own doctor. Marcus produces a folder. Complete neurological workup from Dr. Sarah Chen at Memorial Hospital. No signs of cognitive impairment or dementia. Mrs. Miller is entirely capable of managing her own affairs. The lawyer's expression shifts, recalculating. Zara's face flushes. Additionally, Marcus continues, I've documented all financial activities undertaken by Miss Zara Miller using her mother's accounts without permission. The house listing has been contested with evidence that Mrs. Miller was not properly consulted. The man from APS takes the documents, reviewing them with increasing discomfort. This appears to be in order, he says finally. Mrs. Miller, do you feel you're being exploited or mistreated by anyone currently in your life? The question hangs between me and my daughter like a blade. Yes, I say quietly. But not by these people who are helping me now. Zara's composure cracks. Mom, you don't understand. Richard's business is in trouble. We could lose everything. I was going to pay you back once. Once what? I ask. Once you had control of my lottery winnings too? The room goes silent. Zara's eyes widen, confirmation in her shock. The man from APS clears his throat. I don't see grounds for an emergency guardianship. In fact, he glances at the financial documents again. There may be other issues to address here. You're choosing strangers over your own daughter. Zara's voice rises, her careful mask slipping completely. After everything I've done for you? The question echoes in the small room. Everything she's done for me. What exactly have you done for me, Zara? I ask softly. Tell me, help me understand when your love became conditional. When the person who should love you most reveals who they truly are, is it better to cling to the illusion you cherished or embrace the painful truth staring you in the face? Zara stands frozen, her mouth opening and closing without sound. The lawyer touches her arm, whispers something. The man from Adult Protective Services makes notes on his clipboard. I think we're done here, Marcus, says firmly. They file out, the officials first, Zara last. At the door, my daughter turns. You'll regret this, she says, voice low. When you're alone with your money and these people have taken what they want, you'll wish you'd chosen differently. The words hang in the air long after she's gone. 1 year later, I'm sitting in the garden of my new home. Not a mansion, just a comfortable cottage with wide doorways for my occasional wheelchair days and a garden I can tend without too much bending. The Eleanor Grace Foundation is thriving. We've helped 37 seniors regain financial independence after exploitation. Each story heals something in me. Clara visits 3 times a week, no longer my nurse but my friend. Vivian and I have weekly lunch dates. Marcus handles my finances with transparent care. And Pinewood, I bought it 6 months ago. Transformed it from a waiting room for the forgotten into a vibrant community with art studios, a garden, and staff who see residents as people, not problems. The phone rings. My assistant at the foundation. Mrs. Miller, there's someone here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment. My heart knows before my mind catches up. Send her to the garden, I say. 15 minutes later, I hear footsteps on the stone path, slower than I remember, less certain. Zara looks different. The designer clothes are gone. So is the perfectly highlighted hair. She's thinner. Her eyes older. Mom, she says, stopping several feet away. Sit. I offer, gesturing to the bench beside me. She does, her hands twisting in her lap. Richard left me. After everything fell apart. I nod. I'd heard rumors. I've been working at a diner in Tucson, she continues. Serving breakfast to truckers. Ironic, right? The job I was always so ashamed you had. The breeze stirs the lavender between us. Bees hum lazily among the purple blooms. I didn't come for money, she says quickly. I know I don't deserve that. I needed to say I'm sorry. Though sorry feels pathetic compared to what I did. I study her face, the face I memorized when she was minutes old. I see shame there, regret, but also something new, humility, perhaps. I received your letter, I say. The one you wrote from Tucson. 3 months ago. Her first tentative reach across the chasm between us. 8 pages of painful honesty about her greed, her insecurities, her fear of ending up like me, working hard all her life with little to show for it. I didn't expect forgiveness, she whispers. I still don't. I take her hand. It feels both familiar and strange. Forgiveness isn't something you earn, Zara. It's something I had to find for my own peace. Tears spill down her cheeks. I don't know how to be your daughter anymore. Neither do I admit. But maybe we can learn. Start small, start honest. That evening, she stays for dinner. We talk about simple things. The garden, her small apartment in Tucson, books we've read. No promises of instant healing. No pretending the past didn't happen. Just 2 women finding their way back to each other, one careful step at a time. Before she leaves, I show her the foundation. The pictures of people we've helped. The difference her betrayal ultimately created in the world. You turned pain into purpose, she says softly. Life gives us that chance, if we're brave enough to take it. At the door, she hesitates. Can I call you? Maybe next week? I'd like that, I say. After her car disappears down the driveway, I sit on the porch watching fireflies emerge in the gathering dusk. My heart feels lighter than it has in years. The greatest wealth, I've learned, isn't measured in lottery winnings or bank accounts. It's found in second chances, in the courage to offer them, and the humility to accept them. Sometimes the most valuable thing we can give someone who has hurt us deeply isn't our forgiveness, though that matters, but the opportunity to become someone better than who they were, at their worst moment. If someone you love has wounded you beyond words, remember, healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding the strength to remember differently.